Coming up on today's show, we are breaking down the latest on the Jah-Marien Latham injury and what it might mean for Alabama's defense moving forward this season. Kalen DeBoer yesterday evening around 6, 7 o'clock or so, put out a statement via Yea Alabama saying that Jah-Marien Latham ended up suffering a neck injury during yesterday's practice. This was the statement here from Kalen DeBoer. He said during yesterday's practice session, Jah-Marien Latham sustained a neck injury. He was transported to UAB St. Vincent's Hospital for further evaluation and care. We are pleased to report that Jah has full feeling and motion. He is currently undergoing a thorough medical assessment to determine the next steps in his recovery. Our top priority is Jah's health and well-being. We are in close contact with his family and the medical team and will continue to support him in every way possible. Further updates will be provided as appropriate. Now, Kalen DeBoer did also give an update during this morning's SEC teleconference that we'll talk about here in just a second. But get down in the comments section, type your 20s down below to wish Jah-Marien Latham a very speedy and hopefully healthy recovery for him. Like Kalen DeBoer said, Jah-Marien Latham's health is the biggest thing, most important priority right now. So get down there in the comments section and type your 20s. So what does this mean for Alabama's defense now? First off, this just really does suck for Jah-Marien Latham. He got injured in that first game versus Florida State, and he hasn't played since. He came back this season. He switched positions from that bandit spot to that wolf spot. He lost a lot of weight in the offseason to prepare to play that wolf position. He did all the right things that everybody asked him to do, and, we'll get that official injury report tonight from the SEC before this weekend's game. I would assume he's just going to be listed as out. Kalen DeBoer said that he is still at UAB right now, but, at least he does have some, full movement and can feel everything right now. How long he's going to be out, we really don't know that for sure. Kalen DeBoer did also say that probably sometime in the next 48 hours, we will hear some more on that. But, as far as how this is going to affect Alabama's defense right now, I think depth is the biggest thing. Latham has only played 20 snaps so far this season, so Alabama's already had to adapt to him being out of the lineup. Yhonzae Pierre, has kind of been that dude that has been filling in that role, and I think he's played pretty well, to be honest. Right now he's tied with LT Overton with 7 pressures on the team for the most on the team. PFF also has him ranked as the third amongst starters with a 71.5 PFF grade. That's his overall defensive grade behind Bray Hubbard and Justin Jefferson. And he does have 3 missed tackles this season, so that's something that has to be a little bit cleaned up. But I think some of that is just, he's getting in the backfield. He's getting a little bit wide-eyed, a little overzealous sometimes. But Yhonzae Pierre, I think he's played pretty solid so far this season. And just moving forward, that snap share is going to go up for him. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. We're going to be live for Alabama versus Georgia. A look at our September sub battle. We are just behind Tennessee football talk, and I want to crush them in new subscribers this month, so help me out. Make sure you guys hit that sub button and join us for our watch party as well. We're going to be giving away that Alabama jersey, so hit that sub button and don't miss out on any Alabama football news. So coming up next on today's show, we're going to look at some possible changes that you might see to Alabama's defense now with this Jah-Marien Latham injury. Expected to be a whole lot longer, and possibly some different players that Alabama could throw into the lineup as well. Before we get into that, though, I want to give a shout-out to the sponsor of today's show, that is Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. I use Prize Picks for a ton of different types of sporting events, whether it's professional football, baseball, basketball, college sports, MMA, and so much more. Prize Picks is a ton of fun, and if you guys know ball, you can win real money all season long on Prize Picks. This is what we got cooked up for our power play this weekend, going with Jeremy Bernard, more than receiving yards at 24.5. Jam Miller making his 2025 debut. Going with a more than on, just a half touchdown. Could be rushing, could be receiving. Also going with a more than on Zachariah Branch, Georgia's #1 wide receiver in receiving yards. He only needs 19.5 for that one to hit. And just so you guys know, too, we made this earlier in the week. We put it down earlier. As the week goes on, some of these stat projections might shift and change a little bit. So make sure when you see these projections put out early in the week, make sure you get those into your Prize Picks lineups today. Prize Picks is super simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money today. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 different states, including California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and yes, Prize Picks is also available in Alabama as well. So download the Prize Picks app and use promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That link is down in the description of today's show. It's also going to be down at the pinned comment of today's show as well. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, now with this Jah-Marien Latham injury, next man up mentality has got to be the forefront for this Alabama defense. And Justin Hill technically is the next man up in that position. Outside of Yhonzae Pierre, I think he's played enough that we know he is going to be the 2. But, when you have Qua Russaw, Yhonzae Pierre, who might be that third guy? Justin Hill is really the next true Wolf that has gotten the most snaps. He's played 19 snaps so far this season, and I like Justin Hill, but, I think he's going to be a really good player. I always just get really, really nervous about playing freshmen until they actually go out there and they can prove that they can handle that playing time. Early on in the season against Florida State, you saw Dejon Lee go out there and he got beat deep. I don't want that same kind of thing to happen to Justin Hill, especially if, they were to throw him out there in a game like this against a really, really good team in the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, one player that I think might get some more playing time, too, is going to be Keon Keeley. I wonder if we get some type of personnel changes along the defensive line that can help out in the pass rush department. I would not be surprised at all if Kane Wommack, he loves moving guys around and putting different formations out there. I'd like to see Keon Keeley get some meaningful playing time. It's been mostly in blowouts that you've seen Keon Keeley so far this year being able to get in the game. But when he does get in the game, he's been a disruptor. And I think, he's been more so than a guy like Jordan Renaud so far. Keon Keeley, it's pretty crazy. He has a 40% pressure rate so far this season. That's 4 total pressures divided by 10 total pass rush reps, according to PFF. He's done a really good job when he's been in the game. I know that he hasn't really gotten real snaps, real competitive snaps, but, I think it might be time to see some more of Keon Keeley here. I like Jordan Renaud, but, just watching the games, it doesn't really seem like he's been able to make a massive impact for Alabama's defensive line at that bandit spot. And I think, with the Jah-Marien Latham injury, he's going to go out. You're not going to have Yhonzae Pierre out there all the time with Qua Russaw. So I wonder if, there might be some, personnel changes. I would love to see more of Keon Keeley in a game like this where he can actually show us, is he ready or is he not ready? I would like to find that out. So do you want to see Keon Keeley play against Georgia? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section of today's show. Type Y for yes or N for no.